All right. Good day, bad day. A few more minutes. Right now in Ohio, it is like 65 degrees and it's supposed to go down to like 30 tonight. So, yay.
It
Do you
didn't
consider yourself the
colder.
Midwest in Ohio?
I don't think so. We're more northeast. So,
Yeah, it's kind of like uh I had a friend who lived in New Jersey and then she moved to Iowa. Then she said about the time we hit Ohio, we know we're not in the Midwest anymore. People get a little less a little more rude. Sorry. So-
Now
no,
see,
I live here. Trust me, I know.
but she's
in,
from New Jersey, so she knows rude.
now see, in Michigan, we think
Sorry
Ohio
to
is the
anybody who's
Midwest.
from New Jersey.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Melissa.
I was saying in Michigan, we think Ohio is the Midwest because we're connected. So we're like, yeah, that's the Midwest. What?
Right.
It has to be the Midwest, or or we're blocked in.
Well, yeah, I mean, where we live, we're on like the Pennsylvania border. So we really are like
Mhm.
there, but yeah, I live here, so I agree with you about most people. So
I'm originally from New York. That's not there's nothing more ruder than New Yorkers.
I'm in Brooklyn, so
you're in Brooklyn right now,
yeah,
Adrian?
yeah. But
Awesome.
I'm originally from Los Angeles, so I did Los Angeles and I lived in Houston for 12 years and now New York. So I've kind of like
I don't
circled
really
the country.
I don't really think that they're rude so much as they have to be not super friendly in order to survive.
It's like no eye
Right.
contact, don't speak to
Yeah.
anyone.
Like New Yorkers, I'm 30 minutes outside New York City. It's not a rude thing. I'm just in a hurry and I got to get through all these tourists to get where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
there
would
are
be
good
angry
ones
if
out
I
there,
had
but
to. I'm sorry.
I think I prefer brusque to rude. I should have chosen my words
yes,
more
Brusque is a
carefully.
better.
It's
Yes,
fine.
it's not
I
exactly
don't
remember
rude.
think.
when
Yeah. No, go ahead.
when I first left New York, I moved to Georgia. I lived down there for 7 years, and I walked down the street and people would say hi, and I was so confused and like startled because like, what are you doing? We don't do that back home.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's offended. I think that I would be pretty angry if I lived in a place where tourists were all the time also. I'd probably figure out how to deal with it, but I think at first I would be annoyed. So, oh, all right. You'd never live east of the Rockies. That's funny too, Melissa. We have two Melissas in here, but not, I meant also Melissa. All right. We're at 7:05, so I'm going to go ahead and start. It's going to be a little interactive today. I am going to help you guys, if you don't already have it, figure out 3 words to define your brand and how to use them in Instagram or social media. The next tutorial that we have, I have someone coming in and she'll be teaching TikTok because I don't know about TikTok, but she does. She's got like 64,000 followers. So I asked her to come in and she said, sure. So that'll be happening on April 9th, I believe. So that'll be happening. I'm going to share my screen now because I know where things are. Yep, there it is. That is actually my novel. You don't want to see that? All right. Can everybody see everything? It's all showing up. All right, awesome. So this is session 4. We're going to talk about creating content and finding your brand. If you don't have it, if you have it, we'll talk about how to hone it a little bit. And this is basically based off of everything I've seen and researched through social media. Again, not TikTok because I haven't done that. Well, I just started it, but mostly Meta like Instagram, Facebook, Threads, those kinds of situations. So we are not at the Q&A part. Welcome. I think everybody here has been here before, but if not, just a quick intro of me. I have been in the indie publishing industry since 2019. I started as a ghostwriter. It was a hard and low-paying job, and I only stayed with it because I wanted to learn how to write a novel. I ended up learning about how to be an indie publisher in is like a really happy side effect. So I have written some best writing ghost selling books. I watched all of my clients struggle and they ultimately quit because they didn't want to market themselves. So I made it my mission to help indie authors not give up and to help people make it as easy as possible to do marketing organically. And if you want to pay for it, awesome. That's great too. Because you can't just always do organic, unfortunately, but I want to help you guys figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it. So started out, I hadn't been on social media since 2010. I took this master class and it actually worked, except it wasn't indie or book focused. So I've turned this into sort of a practice of everything I've learned and moved it into author writing ship. My goal for you guys is that again, like I said, I don't want you to do it like me. I want to give you the tools and help you figure out what's right for you, because what is right for you isn't necessarily right for the next person, and so on and so forth. I had an amazing talk with I did a one-on-one or a one-on-one conversation one time, and the author was like, I get TikTok. I really, really get TikTok. And I'm like, well, that's great. Let's do TikTok for you. She's like, no, I need to figure out Instagram. So she's like, like she didn't really want to do Instagram, but she wants to learn Instagram. So that's like something she wants to do. So I was happy to start her on that process. But find the social media platform that you would like to focus your attention on. I go to TikTok and honestly, I just don't want to be there. So I don't know what that means. I just don't want to do it. It is a more friendly algorithm, though. I will say that you can reach a lot more people, and it might be for you. Right now, Instagram is being a super dick and is putting all of these people in jail for no reason. So it's having some kind of fit. So that might mean that more people are going to be starting to go over to TikTok. It might not. I don't know yet. We always have to wait and see. So if you try to separate your time though through multiple platforms, and at first it really can be overwhelming, because it's not that you have to spend a lot of time on social media, because you can spend the amount of time that you spend on social media, but trying to do it all at once will not get you the engagement that I believe we all need to be visible and to have really, really cool things happen about it. So now we are here. So this is all about content creation and finding your brand. So content that I'm going to be talking about are post, reels, and stories. I will be showing you all Instagram. Andrea next in April 9th, she'll be showing you about these in TikTok also. I don't think that there are stories, but again, I'm not going to really talk about TikTok. I'm going to actually stop because I really know nothing. Sorry. So posts. Social media post is a piece of content that is published or shared online by any social network or platform. A post can be text, multimedia, data generated. This is actually a definition that I pulled off of Google when I said, hey, Google, what's a post? My definition is any kind of a post on Instagram or any post anywhere is a stationary image. This is a post that I did, and you click the little arrow carrot and it pushes you through. This is a group author signing that I'm doing on March 29th. You can see that there's 6 things, and it usually ends with a call to action. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later in the presentation. There we go. That word slipped out of my brain. Sorry. I posted this today to show you how to do it on Instagram, but it's a funky size. So just a note about Instagram, what they did was they changed sizes when TikTok got banned, and the sizing still isn't set the correct way for everybody's profiles and platforms. So that's a little bit funky, and I don't want anybody to get frustrated with themselves or frustrated with content about it, because it's going to sort itself out, and we all kind of understand. Like, people will start being like, oh my God, it's all messed up, and it'll resolve itself. So these are reels, and I'm going to show you some reels that I made. This is a moving post that is 3 minutes or less. It may be longer on different platforms. I'm focusing on Instagram right now. But you can, like on Facebook, I know they can definitely be longer. These are just a couple reels I want to show you. I don't know how well they'll come out here. I'm going to make it bigger. Can you guys see that? Is that okay? Okay. So this is character art that I got drawn, and one of my main themes, my main words for my novel and my world is I'm a fantasy author. So it's lightning. So in every single post or in every single reel, I always try to add lightning. This is a character artist. She did this of my characters from a scene from my book. So here is my call to action on that one. I was having problems, the second one, I was having problems naming my book too, and nothing really sounded right. So what I did, I have a street team that I curated from social media, Facebook and Instagram, and a couple other places. And I reached out to my street team and I said, I need help on book 2. Give me your title ideas. So we ended up with like 10 different title ideas. I put it out to the group again and I said, these are our ideas. You guys vote on them. They did. They came up with 3. So this is one of the posts that I did after we got the 3, and this was a call to action for my book 2. So I put this on social media, and people responded, and it's asking for votes. So I'll talk about it after it goes. I really did think we were gonna get oh wait, let's do this better. So there's a lightning again, and another one of my themes is a door. So I know that's a gate, but it's very similar. And there's the call to action. And we actually had over 100 people voting, and it did come back, and it is now called Ashes in Dawn. Nope, Ashes Fall at Dawn. And they really did vote for it. And it made everybody more invested in the world. It was really cool. I even got a few more street team members and a few more ARC members because of it. So it's really, really exciting. The next thing I'm going to show you, my phone is way too old to cast onto my super new laptop that was made this year. So I recorded my phone and I posted on here. So if anybody has any questions, or if it's going too fast, let me know. Feel free to shout out, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this video, and it's about 7 minutes long. So feel free to interrupt. All right, everybody can hear that, right?
Going to show you how to post from your phone into Instagram using a draft from my email. So I am interested in creating a post about this. This will be a stationary post. And you can see in my email, they all came up goofy and everything like that. So they're actually numbered in post form, but they do not get stuck. So I'm gonna have to go, they don't get stuck in that situation in the same way when I uploaded them. They actually get mixed around. So I'm gonna start with 1. And then go 2, 3. Sometimes I mess this up, but you know, it's pretty easy to see the different numbers. All right, so I got all of that. Normally, I would have a content caption to put in, but I wasn't planning on doing this right now. I just actually wanted to show you something interesting. So I'm going to go to, this is my dashboard, and really you're just going to go see where there's the 1, 2, 3. Well, let me mark that up. See right here? That's where I'm actually going to go. And I'm going to click on that, and you'll and then you'll see right here, I'm going to go to posts, because this is a post, this is stationary. So I'm going to select the multiple items, and it always picks the first one first, but that's not what we're going to do here, because this is actually backwards. So from where it downloaded. So since I downloaded this first, it'll be back here. And it can take all of those at once. So because this is in my Goofy place, then you click next. Usually I do like to pick a song. I have saved songs. I am going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to pick a song, but also I'll show that in a later.
Oh, what did I do? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I just wanted to say something about the song too, because the song is another great way for engagement. It actually shows you the different how many people use it. So if you see that like 160,000 people have used the song, you want to use that song too, if it goes with what you're trying to do. But that means that it's doing some kind of loop in the algorithm where it'll pick that song up more often at that time. So let me, you don't have to do
But
this.
also I'll show that in a later seminar, because there's actually a trick and everything like that. So I'll just listen to a couple. Not that one.
I have a question about the music.
Yes.
I have a business account. Does that
Yeah.
limit what music I can access? Because obviously I don't want to use a copyrighted song to promote my book.
No. Actually, Instagram will only play songs for 30 seconds or less. Most of them are 15 seconds or less, so it falls under that not copyrighted
But then you
moment.
get silence for the rest of your.
No,
No.
you won't. No, we're all using that. No, there's some kind of permissions on there in Instagram, Facebook, where there's it's a I don't personally know the legal parts of it, but nobody's getting caught or anything like that. This is a very public thing that we all do throughout all social media, and it doesn't infringe because it's only a chunk of the song. It's never like long enough for it to be that way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a good question. So if you click these little buttons, that's how I'm doing it. If you actually clicked this side, the song would automatically attach to your post, and then you'd have to come back into the other things, which is not really that big of a deal. It's not that hard, but sometimes it gets a little frustrating depending on how long you've been doing the song thing for. So when I don't know if you saw the little dot, but the little dot, I clicked right on the actual song lyrics or the song title, and it brought me here.
So then I would go to next. I picked the song. I can walk through it a little bit more if you guys have questions about that. Since this is a group signing, I'm going to go ahead and tag people. I'm not going to invite them as collaborators yet because I don't have their permission. Technically, they said go ahead, but they're novice at using collaboration stuff, so I wouldn't with them until I spoke to them a little bit more.
I'm just looking for her name right there.
Samantha Joe. I'm going to pick her. And then I'm going to pick one more. I just touch on the screen to make them happen. And I don't know if you'll see all of the people popping in. Those are just people from my comments. And then what I will do now is do Bob's, because we were having it at Bob's Bookstore. And I'll click on him. And then I'm going to click the check mark. And then I'm going to share it. It'll take a minute, see where it says finishing up.
Normally I would go ahead and put a caption in there as well, but I didn't have a caption. I'm going to talk about captions in a little bit though.
Right there. And my phone is always longer than my laptop to update. So if I come over here, it'll take a minute. You see we have a couple of different things here. So I'm going to refresh it and see it pops up right there. So you can see so I have a weird love of French music, especially 1960s French pop. So that's why I picked that. But because this is, you can do two things with this. You can make it a post, which you did, and then you're going to share it. So see this little airplane, we talked about that last time, but if you weren't here last time, I just wanted to show it. I'm going to click on it. And then if you look here, there will be something that says add to stories. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to story because I won't be able to do this on the actual PowerPoint because still haven't figured out how to put my phone onto the laptop yet because my phone is too old for my laptop. So this pops up. And I don't want this post. This is the last post, so it doesn't say anything about what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to make sure that I go back to the very first one. And then I'm going to make sure that I hit the airplane. I'm going to... You could do a whole bunch of different things with this story. You can
actually just gonna talk over this right now because you can't silence the story music when you're actually doing this other fun stuff. So it's going the whole time. So I apologize about that, but I'm going to show in 1 second. This is where you could change your music. This is like really cool stickers where you can put like fun stuff on it. You just text this stuff. This is an AI background. And then this is just a whole bunch of other little drop-downy things. That's pretty much what I showed. Did you guys want to see these in action, just to see them, or do you want to keep listening to the music? It's pretty poppy.
So basically you're just, any of your reels and your posts, you also use them as stories.
Yes, you can do that. You can actually record yourself as to do a story as well.
Yeah, that's
But
that's enough.
yeah, right. Right. But yes, you can turn any posts and any reels into stories. You can share other people's posts and put them on your stories. Other people will share your posts and reels on their stories as well. And that's another good way to get more people to see your stuff. So
Okay,
what
my
is,
other, I'm
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
My other
No,
question
you're fine.
is, stories always bothered me because you lost it in 24 hours. It was there and it was gone. So if if people weren't on for that 24 hours, they don't see it.
Yes. Depending on what
This
you're doing, you
posts.
I'm sorry, you broke up. I'm sorry.
It always confused me having a disappearing post. It's like, why bother if it's not going to be there for 24 hours, over 24 hours?
Right. Part of it is more highlighting something very specific. Some people put stuff on their story that they wouldn't necessarily put on their profile because it might mess up the aesthetic, or because they're angry and they want to say something that they don't want to stick around. There's lots of different reasons to do stories. I'm gonna hop over to Instagram in a second. Actually, there are things that if you put in your stories, they actually still are on your, they're still in your account. And I can't do it on my laptop, unfortunately. But there are things called highlights. So when you do a highlight, which I didn't plan to do in our content today. If you look at a highlight, and these are the pretty pictures on the top of lots of people's things. So if you go here, this is all of the people who reviewed my novel. So if I go here and I want to edit this highlight, you can come in here, and any of the stories that have ever been posted on your stories actually will pop up here. So they're still saved. They're just in a funky, like, hidden door place. So you can still put any of these on. It's easier to find them on your phone, but they are in a specific place that you can get them. And I will make sure that I discuss that either in the newsletter, or I will send you guys another little phone clip without the musical interlude, just to show you where you can find all of these stories.
Okay, and then how do you move a story to a highlight?
So I would just click on one of them. So I'll say, see how this is clicked?
Yep.
That's already in my reviews, but I would just click on that, and then I would click next. I would select the cover. I already have that cover. So then I would click done, and it's there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let me show you this too, because when you start farting around with the highlights, it'll move the one that is the most up to date to the front. So if you have some kind of special pattern with those, you'll always want to make sure that you do remember to put that pattern. Most people do some fun stuff with colors, and they just use like 3 colors for their brands, which I'm going to talk about also. But that way it doesn't get too messed up. So I put that one there, and see the trium perfectum is the circle is at the front now. So that is that. I am going to hop to Canva to show you guys how to do a couple of things. Do you have any questions for me before we go over there? So Canva is really awesome. Let me precursor this. I have a background in graphics. I've been working with Photoshop since 1997. Canva is super there's no reason to be afraid of it, but they have everything you could probably think of in a template already. So this is the Instagram reel. Here's an Instagram post. But if you come over here and you click create a design and you want to go to social media, it will give you all of these to try. There's YouTube, WhatsApp, TikTok, Pinterest, all different kinds of stuff. The Instagram post has changed size. It doesn't necessarily always reflect everything, but right now it's 1080 by 1350 pixels. If you still pick up Instagram post of 940 to 788, that or 1080 to 1080, that will still work. It'll look a little goofy, but that is what it is. Instagram's still working out those bugs. So I just clicked on my post. And then I'm just going to throw some images in here. I just made a romantasy engagement group with people. So I was trying to find these. You just click on it. You can actually type. I did black heart because we're dark fantasy people, but it can really be whatever you want it to be. And that's a post. You would name it something. I would name it dark fantasy engagement. And that could be that. If you want to make more than one post, you would just click add a page. I hope you guys can see that. But here's right down here, it says add a page here. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things. If you want to look for a photo, like a realistic photo, you look for just a photo here. I'm going to keep using the black. I don't want to use a black heart. I'll use lightning. So these are all the graphics. These are just fun, animated. They kind of look like icon, different things here. If you go back to all, you'll see graphics, photos, videos, audio. I don't use audio, but it's kind of like the Instagram songs that you can put up there. These are also, fall under the copyright written like safety zone. So, but you'll only be able to use so much of the song at once. And some songs you won't find on Canva that you can find on Instagram, because I think of the licensing issues. So here would be photos. So say I want to do something funky with a photo. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can make it translucent, so you can put stuff over it and you can move it to the back. And so you can see two things with one. This one, maybe I don't want it to be transparent, but I don't want it to have a background, so it would take the background away. So there's a lot of really fun things that you can do when you're playing with Canva. It is almost as good as Photoshop. And I only say that because Photoshop has some really, really remarkable things, and they've been around since the early 90s. So they've had more time to develop. So what if I would say I wanted a video. I use videos a lot of lightning bolts because especially for reels, because again, one of my keywords is lightning bolts. So you can see that that's playing right here. There's lots of things you can do with this. You can do a playback. You can change the video speed. You can change the time that it runs. You can do 3 seconds. So it's not a long video. Here's like a weird science moment. So these will actually give you magic recommendations, which is AI. And a lot of the times the recommendations are dumb. I mean, I can't lie about that, but sometimes they're pretty spot on. So it's always good to check them out. But if you would want to do that, you just click on the see all and be like, oh yeah, these are dumb. I don't like these. And then just go back on the background. So you could do something like that as well. Now that would just be for a post. I am talking a little faster because the time is starting to get a little bit low, but please feel free to stop me if you want me to repeat something. So I did this post and I was really surprised because I got a phenomenal response to it. And it wasn't like people were like, oh, this is a really cool post. They were answering the questions that I was asking them. They wanted to know how I did it. And that's when you know you have a really good content, because if somebody's asking you how you did it, that means they want to recreate it. So I just have to find it. And if I can't find it here, I will show you on social media. Basically my friend texted me how much here it is. She texted me how much she liked my novella. So I put it in reel form, real, REEL, not real as in real. So this is what I did with it. And this is all video and posts, but I started out with the template. So let me show you this first. And then, but people went batshit crazy for it. So I was really surprised, but there's my CTA at the end. But they really, like, people reached out to me like on private message trying to figure out how I did it. So something like that, I really did just start with the template because I had no clue how to do it. And I did like a texting. And then I looked down here. So these are Canva templates. This is literally the one that I used. I changed the background. I added more animations in it, so it popped up differently, but this is what it looked like at first. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do. So I just clicked on the background. I deleted that. I have special uploaded images for my brand that I've been collecting for a long time. This is just a map of my world because I'm a fantasy writer and we like maps. And then see how it's like that. This dark white is actually not full of it. So I just took that out. And I started messing around with it. So I couldn't do what I wanted to do in this section because I wanted each text to pop up like the people were popping up like a normal text. So what I did here instead was I resized it and I wanted to do an Instagram reel. So I clicked on that and I copy and resized it. Sometimes you will have to actually resize things, but since this is the same size, it got a little bit easier. So now it's a reel. So you want this to pop up. You click animate. And then here are all of the different animations you can do. You can do pop-ups. You can do wipes. Definitely try whichever one you're liking. I didn't want my phone to be animated though. So I clicked on the phone and I went to animate and I just clicked remove animation. Didn't want my background to either be animated. So I just clicked on the background and went here. So right now that's what it looks like. So only the text is popping up. But then I wanted each one to pop up, right? So I went down here and I duplicated the page. And then that's kind of how I made it happen. I changed the photos of the people because, you know, we aren't these people in this thing. So all of these different things I deleted. And then I just continually made another page because I needed this one to pop up first, then this, and that's sort of how I did it. And it's really, again, I came from a background of graphics, but Canva is different than Photoshop, and Canva was very different than Photoshop, like in 2018 when I first started learning it. So it really is just getting in there, finding the right things and learning about that. So this is a reel, and let me see what else I was going to talk about here. So I showed you the reels and the posts. The stories, again, on Instagram will be reels and posts. Here's a bigger version of This is what the group signing post is going to look like in Canva. These doors are one of my main themes. I use these doors in anything that isn't a reel, just because if somebody looks at it, they're going to know it is my world and it is me. This is the same kind of font that I use most of the time. I made QR codes on Bitly, but these are QR codes and they are made. I didn't make them in Canva. And they do link to my website. They link to Samantha Joe's website. They link to Bob Bookstore. So there's a lot of really, really cool things you can do. Now, I am going to hop back over here, and we can talk a little bit more about that. But does anybody have any questions? Because I'm going to jump into captions. So captions are how you start to engage with people a little bit more. One of these captions is, these captions are directly from my Instagram post. So you can always hop over there and see a little bit more. So I met a woman on Instagram, and she really wanted to find an agent because she wanted to be traditionally published, and she worked her freaking ass off and she got an agent, and a really good agent, and she super deserves it. But we developed a friendship, and she and I were talking, and she was like, well, there's no conversations about indie publishing and traditional publishing and why we chose the routes we chose and all of these different things. So she and I are actually going to start doing an Instagram live once a month. That just so happens to be this week. So we're doing that this Friday. So this is sort of our caption to talk about that. And I mean, it's really long. It's, I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So this is the introduction of Writing Coffee Talk with Christine and Kara. This is a monthly live thing where we do this. A few weeks ago, Christine and I talked about it. So I'm just telling you what it said. So and then we did a call to action. So the four, I'm going to say 4, but it doesn't really have to be 4. There's 3 essential things to a caption. But hashtags and questions of the day are really important too. So in this Instagram live, the call to action was introducing Writing Coffee Talk with Kara Christine. You can actually hit pain points with this. You can actually, it's just a hook, like when you're writing, right? Like it's just like hey, I have free stuff for you. People will come. But it's just the intro is definitely just like a hook. The next is like the body and the information of what you're talking about. So we are a monthly live where we're going to dive into all things writing and publishing, no judgment, all support. So there's that. And then there's a CTA, always end on a CTA. So yes, our CTA is a little silly. It's bring your coffee, your hottest takes, and let's chat. But that's still like reminding people to come. So that's that caption. This one she made, and she didn't do hashtags, and there was no question of the day, but the question was actually, what are your questions for us? So we engaged that way as well. So this one, every Monday, I do a meet an author on my spotlight. I do a meet an author spotlight on Instagram. I do it in my newsletter. I do it on my blog, and it's going to start getting it's going to start going over to TikTok too, because there are some ways that anything you create for Instagram can actually fit on TikTok, but I won't be engaging on TikTok yet because I still don't understand it. If anybody wants to, let me know. You're welcome to be on my spotlight as well. I am booking into May. And I have to say this because I was shocked, but I don't expect anybody to pay me for that, because somebody asked me or told me she wouldn't give me money. And I said, that is a really weird thing. I didn't know people do that, but I guess they do. So beware of that also. But this is a Meet an Author Monday. So I introduce S. Vaughn. She's a dark romance author. She gives me her link tree. Here's her bio. here's the question, one of the questions she answered, and, here's some other stuff. So when we break it down, what's going on? Sorry. Being weird. Okay. Sorry about that. So my intro or hook is, hey, it's time to meet another author. The next I have the body and information is I added the one question I picked out of, she did 5, but it's 5 to 7 if anybody's interested. So I picked, what is the loftiest goal you'd like to reach as a writer, where you can find her. I put her books on Amazon or whatever link she gave me to sell her books, and a couple of other different things. So that's the body and the information. In the CTA, I said, comment, meet an author to get the clickable link, or if you want to see the full interview. I put questions of the day on almost everything. So this one was like, what is one question you'd love for somebody to ask you? Most of the time people ignore it, but when they ignore it, you can go back and you can re-ask them the question, and then they come back to your post and they'll start talking to you through your posts. And then hashtags are incredibly an interesting phenomenon at this point. There's a lot of stuff floating around about them. It usually takes Instagram 6 to 9 months to implement changes. I did get a message from Instagram that they were eliminating hashtags, which I don't know that they are. So I stopped using hashtags for about 3 weeks to see how it would go. My engagement tanked. It was crazy. So I started using hashtags again, and it spiked. Not sure if that's going to happen to everybody. One woman said she took hashtags off and she got 3 followers immediately. That's something that I'm always going to encourage you to try out for your account. And that's on any social media posts, because they're important, and I don't think that they're going away, because I don't know how I think that would turn chaos into everything. Some other kinds of content that people really, really, really go for are follow trains. A follow train is a group of people who follow each other on social media. So I did that at first when I went in. I will say that when you do follow trains, you get followers, but those people don't engage you. And you have to build followers to really start training your algorithm and everything. So it's not a terrible thing to do, but it's just something that maybe do once or twice and to sort of get the ball rolling. But I don't put much stock in follow trains. I don't do them anymore at all. But there are actual groups of people in your DMs that will say, hey, join our follow train group. And it's fine and it's good and you'll get followers. But again, I'm going to always push for engagement over followers. But you guys can do it how you want to do it. Let me just say that. Collaborations are really, really cool. They actually give you, on Instagram, you can get up to 5 people on one post. And then when you collaborate with somebody, it goes everywhere. So it goes to all of their 5 accounts, and all of their audiences see the one post. And again, that really bumps up your reach and your engagement. And it's a really, really cool thing. I do support collaborations. We are not going to have enough time to go into what I wanted to do, but I am going to run through it really quickly because I wanted it to be more interactive. I can stay on a little bit longer if you guys want to do it together. Just let me know. Just one caution when you're commenting, don't leave emojis. First off, don't leave emojis on any of your posts responding to people, because that won't encourage engagement. But when you leave emojis on your posts or on anybody else's posts, that tells the bots that are watching you, that usually tells them that you're some kind of scam. So they'll take the posts down, or they'll start flagging your account and everything. And it's just easier don't post emojis. Even if you don't have anything to say, just say, this is really cool. Because the emojis are like a super red flag for it. And people have gotten thrown into Instagram jail about that. Does anybody have any questions right now? I totally didn't miss, I missed all the, go ahead.
Just had one question about the, going back to the collaborations and the trains. What
Yeah.
about, a hop where if readers follow all the authors, they get a chance to win something or something like that? Or is that still along the lines of the train?
Isn't. That's a little bit different. But it's still a little similar. Giveaways are a really, really good way to get engagement. They're great. And you do tend to reach a lot more people because people are sharing. Usually one of the requirements for the giveaways I see is you like, you comment, you follow and stick around, and you share it. So again, when somebody shares your content, it's getting to their audience. The only problem that I know of, people complain about it as a lot, is that people will follow you just to earn the giveaway, because they want to win the giveaway, and then they'll unfollow you if they don't win or something like that. So just be aware of that. But I have really good responses with giveaways. And I haven't had anybody follow me just to follow me to undo like that. But I do know that it happens. So I would definitely.
Yeah, not as bad as when you do the newsletter hops, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know about that. Oh, you mean the newsletter swaps?
Yeah, just sign up for everybody's
Yeah.
newsletter and yeah. I can't stand those because those people are just in it to win it.
Yeah.
On
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, some of the followers will be like, oh, these are new authors. I've never heard of them.
Absolutely. And they will, because the people that you're reaching are going to be your readers, or they're going to be your author friends, similar genres and different things like that. And I have found when when readers get something from an author, they really appreciate it and they post about it online when they get it. And then some people will even open it up on camera and they'll tag you. And it's a whole huge, wonderful thing. So it's definitely really cool. But yeah, just be aware that they may unfollow you. And that's a whole other thing. If people unfollow you, that just let them unfollow you because they're just not your audience. Like, it's fine. You 100% probably didn't do anything wrong. It's never going to be a personal thing. But that's just, go ahead. You don't want to follow me? That's more than okay, because I just want people here who want to be around. That's my theory. But so with the brand making, I'm sorry, Samantha, did I answer your question completely?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I wanted you guys to really think about 3 words. What 3 words defines your world, your book, your brand? Like, these can be anything. Mine are door, cherry blossoms, lightning. Those 3 things. That's it. And the only reason why I picked those is because my main character smells like cherry blossoms when she uses her lightning power, and she walks through a door. So it can be anything at all, and anything you want it to be, you can find an image to represent it. So then think about 3 words. What about your novel or story or world is the first thing that pops into your mind? Again, lightning doors, cherry blossoms. It's going to change a little bit for book 2, but in my world that I'm building, it's all going to be interconnected. So I wanted to be like, hey, do you guys want to share them with the group? And then how do you turn those words into images? Something visual. I did show you my lightning. I showed you my cherry blossoms, and I use my book cover and those doors as often as I can. So that's just something to think about. Like, if you don't have those yet, it's okay. And if you think about it, and you land on something, but it's not right, that's okay too. The internet is very forgetful. So you can try things out to see what sticks. It took me about 3 months to get my images right and a little while to get the lightning door cherry blossom situation going. But once I did it, it really came together really well. And again, I have people reaching out to me saying, how did you do that post and different things like that. So I wanted to talk about brand kits. Of course, you don't need to do all of these with your brand kit, but there's fonts, colors, words, taglines, images, logos, phrases. Those can all be a part of your brand. I'm going to take you guys back to Canva if you need to go right now. Thank you for coming. And I appreciate you being here. All of this will be in the assets. This Friday, I'll be setting out that, and I'll even have some fun little like fill in the blank type of stuff to help you figure out if you don't know words and your brand kit and different things like that. But thank you again for coming. I'm just gonna keep doing this for people who can stay on. So in Canva, there is a fun little brand thing. Unfortunately, this is the professional one. You cannot do this through a brand kit like side thing unless you pay for it, but you can do it on your own. You don't necessarily need the pro to do this. So this is something I'm pulling together with a partner. We're just talking about doing more seminars like this and everything. So this is a favicon that she like pulled out. It's like a little flower. We didn't want to do a quill because lots of places do quills. So we wanted to still have it be like flowery, but without the idea of a quill. And then this is our logo. So we added the logo to here, and we have 4 colors. We have a title font heading, and we picked tan pearl. You can do whatever you want with these. We have the subtitle heading. We picked a different font. We have a heading, and then we have another subheading. I don't have anything else for this, but I did put all of our photos and images in here. So this is all, so it's for easy access. You just grab it and you can drop it right in here. Now that is not for my novel. This is for my novel. I added my logo, which isn't really my logo. It's an asset. It is my first book cover. So I'll put all of those in here as I'm building my brand. I just recently started changing my colors. So I put in all of these different colors. All you do is you click on new colors to add them, and you just mess around. Or Canva does use hex codes. If you don't know what those are, they're just a fancier name. They're just a numbered name for like the color of rose or red, because there's so many different hues, and because computers are coded with like numbers, that's what a hex number is. So say I wanted to put in a pink, I would just move around a little bit and say, yes, this is my color. And then I would add it right there. But that doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to click that out. For my fonts here, I have the body, which is Times New Roman. It's 16 points. Then I have this heading, and it's also, I put it under whatever section that I want to put it on. And then I can do the drop downs, and they would be the numbers also. So you can pick whatever kind of font you want. I think it's important to have just sort of to create a cohesive visualization when you're doing social media, because it's visual. You engage a little bit, but and TikTok again is a little bit different, but you can do a lot of really cool things on TikTok because it is basically a constant reel, but you put stuff on the reel too that really, really intrigues people as well. So that's where the brand kit really, really comes in handy. If you'd like me to do a new brand kit just to show you you would just come to add new and you would create a name. And then you would just add or drag and drop a logo in here. I'm just going to put Bob because it's right there. That's his logo. His name is actually Bob and he owns Bob Bookstore. Bob's Bookstore. So automatically the colors pulled themselves out of the logo. You can stay like that, or you can, remove it or keep it or whatever you'd like. Or again, you can add a new color, add a palette, and add different kinds of guidelines. This is really more for teams. I don't ever use that, but if you want to, you can. And then you would come to your fonts and you would choose a font. This looks fun. That is called Festive Roman. So say I didn't want that to be my title though. I just wanted it to be a section header. And it moved itself down on its own and you just save it and there it is. So that is Brand Kit. Again, I really wanted to do it all together, but I understand we ran out of a little bit of time. So my basic call to action, I can show you some examples on Instagram, or if you want to ask me to send you a few really cool accounts, I can do that sort of so you can see like give yourself some different ideas. I can do that also, but I will have assets on this PowerPoint. You just open it up, you click it, it'll take you to the asset sheet, the brand kit sheet, and like how to pull your stuff out. And you're welcome to email me and bounce ideas off of me if you'd like. So we can do questions and answers. I think we lost most of everybody, but that's okay because I am still here. Yes, Samantha's not here anymore, but they do have texting templates. But thank you guys.
Question.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
really quick.
No.
So, I noticed you did your branding around a specific title rather than like, what if you have like future series or future books or something? I'm just wondering, like, what was your thought process behind that?
I didn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, is it just because you had the one book and or anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine because I've had that question before, and you can really do it for your world. My world is specifically magic building. I did the lightning. My main character is always going to have lightning, but when I move into a bigger world, I'll probably take out that lightning a little bit because I really am going to start focusing on that. My original intent with this idea, again, it's always growing and changing, but I was only thinking that I was going to be doing this series as an author. It turns out that's not the case because I'm doing novellas in the world as well, and I'm also going to start a paranormal romance in this same exact world. So it is going to have to change from lightning to something else. So it really is how you want to represent yourself. Like if a whole world is too big, start with one book. If one book is too small, start with the world. Like I'm saying world because in fantasy, I have a magical world. Like I have a whole magic system I have to build. So if it's for a different genre, and say you're going to do contemporary romance and each character is going to be related, then you're going to kind of want to bring that in. Maybe it's small town and there's a baker and there's a carpenter and there's, all of those different elements that are there. So you can figure out how to tie them in together. Like if it was going to be a small town, maybe it would be, what is the name of the small town? Or is there a special building in the small town that everybody always goes to in the books or something? Does that help or make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I see now. Okay. Thanks.
So yeah. Oh no, you're welcome. Because I've been asked that before, and it really is try it. And if it doesn't work, then you can change up, and usually you start really big and you winnow it down to, when I say you, I just mean everybody as a collectively, you winnow it down to the right idea. It did take me about three months to get this situated. There's always going to be a portal in all of my books, because that's how you get to the fairy realm. So the portal is probably going to start being the main thing that I'm talking about.
Got it.
So this is the post for Christine and I, and we did it twice. Just because we did a Monday, she did a reel. And this is all from Canva. This is all of this stuff that she's pulling that from Canva, because she just, you just type in the little box, like, give me a coffee pouring, or give me somebody writing, or writing on a laptop or something like that. And it'll pull all of this stuff up and you can use it. So that is that. Yeah. Next guest speaker is Inkspire Services. They're just going to talk about social media and how the power can get you reviews and attention and everything like that. They will not be talking about organic growth. I am not affiliated with them either. I will not earn any money from this. I just had a really good experience with them. Lena, who was our guest speaker last week, had a good experience with them as well. So this information will be here. And are you guys all on my newsletter? Do you need me to put my email in the chat so you can get it? All right. I'm going to turn this off, and then thanks everybody for coming and listening to me talk and ramble around for a little bit. I appreciate it.
Thank you.